morning and welcome back to the early morning show. And of course, this is the Spotlight segment. A lot happening in sport this weekend. Of course, the TT Pro League and the First Citizen Cup kicks off this afternoon at venues such as the Hazley Crawford Stadium from 6 and 8. And of course, the Mani Ramjan Stadium down there in South. There's secondary school football action this weekend. The Newsday Cycling Classic on Republic Day, as well as the C&D Trinidad Derby horse racing action out at Santa Rosa Park. The Cricket T20 World Cup is also going on, and we'll also get to that. But first off, we wanted to stay with cricket. The Trinidad and Tobago team preparing for the Champions League. Currently, they are in Barbados. They are taking on the Barbados Presidents 11 in a Goodwill Series. They played last night, notched up their second win of that tour. The Presidents 11, 148 for 4 from 20 overs. Martin Nurse knocking 55. Shamar Brooks, 25. Best bowlers for Trinidad and Tobago, young Yannick Utley, who will also be going with Trinidad and Tobago to the Champions League, and Shannon Gabriel. Trinidad and Tobago in reply, 150 for 2 from 16.1 overs. William Perkins in the runs with a half century, 57. Adrian Barrett, that's 38 not out. And of course, Evan Lewis, another one of the youngsters really stepping up to the mantle. He made 32 as Trinidad and Tobago went on to record an 8-wicket win. Of course, exciting news, I'm sure, for my guest this morning, Colin Board, who's the former manager of the Trinidad and Tobago cricket team. He was sitting in that seat when Trinidad and Tobago first went to the T20 Champions League in India in 2009. Colin, good morning and welcome.
Morning, Jesse. Nice to be on. Very good.
Now, looking at some of the results that Dinesh Ramdan's men, well, he's absent currently at the World Cup, but that the Trinidad and Tobago team have been able to put together in recent times, you know, how does this team shape up in terms of the composition of it and their readiness for this very big tournament coming up in October in South Africa?
I think we're very well prepared. Certainly, Trinidad and Tobago team as a whole has had a lot of games. We've had 2 tournaments back-to-back in Trinidad recently within the last 3 weeks. We've been to Barbados before, we've been to Miami. We're back in Barbados again, and in between all of that, about 8 players from the full squad are actually in the World Cup. So, and just prior to that, they were playing in T20 tournaments for West Indies. So these players are ready, they're fit, they've had a lot of T20 under their belt. I think in this regard, they've been probably better prepared now in terms of match games than they were in the past couple of years, and that's good to see. As I said, they've had tournaments, particularly with the 50th celebration. There were 2 back-to-back tournaments that would have given them opportunities. The only thing would be that the type of wickets they've been playing on, they've been playing at the Oval. This is South Africa, and I think one of the reasons why they've gone off to Barbados, and probably the primary reason, is to get as much bounce and pace to start making adjustments. But I think they're fit and ready, and they've got a lot of international players now. You know, when we went to the 2009 Champions League, we literally had Dwayne Bravo out there as the only guy on the circuit. Now we've had about 5 or 6 guys out there, and the rest are now playing international cricket, so they're well prepared.
Of course, when you look at this 15, Dinesh Ramdan, Adrian Barrett, Evan Lewis, Lendell Simmons, William Perkins, Darren Bravo, Dwayne Bravo is absent, of course, as you may well know, along with Kyron Pollard and Sunil Narayan. We also have Kevin Cooper, Riyad Emre, Jason Mohammed, Yannick Utley, Nathan Stewart, Sherwin Ganga, Samuel Badji, and of course, Ravi Rampal and Shannon Gabriel. Looking at that 15, of course, some of the names have been there before consecutively in 2009 and last year. You know, how do we expect you, or in your opinion, how do you expect them to shape up versus the opposition?
I think we're going to be very competitive. Our strengths really has been as a team, but particularly in the bowling department from the spinners. Badri doing really well at the top first, and then we had Sherwin Ganga, and of course now we have Sunil Narayan, we had Taddy as well. In South Africa, you're not going to get that sort of turn, and the wicket is not going to be as slow as in the previous tournaments being held in India. But the strength on the other side is that we have batsmen that like to field the ball coming onto the bat, and Adrian Barrett, Lendell Simmons and William Perkins. So there's going to be some balance. At the end of the day, you've got to face 120 balls. And as quick as this game is, a 100-meter dash literally, you still got to think it through. And this team has a lot of experience. A lot of these guys have actually played going back as far back as 2008 and the Stanford Super Series and so on. So there is the experience. Particularly for me, I'm very interested in looking at Utley and young Lewis. Those guys are extremely talented, and it says that Trinidad and Tobago's cricket is still strong. Lewis, I believe, and Utley not only can play T20, but all formats of the game.
I was just about to get into those two. When you look at in previous years, players being able to step to the mantle. Of course, Karen Pollard made his name in 2009, 2011 belonged to Sunil Narayan. How do you expect these two players in particular to follow in that tradition?
Certainly, Lewis is going to, if he gets the opportunities, it's going to be looking at the composition of the team, where he's going to fit in. If Simmons is there, then you still have Simmons, Barth, and Perkins. What the selectors do is going to be very interesting. But he's skillful enough to even bat at 4 or 5. He can hit the ball. He's good between the wickets. He's young, yes, but he's going to get an opportunity. And I think he's going to be a player to look forward in the future. I hope he does get an opportunity. But of more importance is going to be that the team itself plays as a unit and not as individuals. If an individual steps up and does something extraordinary, all well and good, but the team itself has got to play extraordinary cricket.
Having said that, with so many players away with the West Indies on West Indies duty right now, how would they gel? Of course, it's good that they're getting match practice at the highest level at the World Cup, but in the absence of those and coming back into the team in South Africa, how do you expect that scenario to play out?
Smoothly. I don't see it as an issue at all. Certainly there are a couple of warm-up matches in South Africa as well, so, and these guys are accustomed to playing with each other and against each other. So in terms of the team bonding, I don't see it as being that difficult, particularly the management team. We still have David Williams, we have Kelvin Williams there, so you have guys who've been in and around the team. Omar is an experienced manager. Of importance to me is that the camp itself is focused. You've got to keep that camp focused. The guys coming back from the World Cup, they're either going to be coming back disappointed if we don't win the cup, and or motivated to continue their successes. I think they're going to do well at the end of the day. I'm happy for Badri that he's getting a shot at the World Cup. He's played extremely well over the years and deserves some reward. But they're going to work out well.
Looking now at in South Africa itself, we still have to go through this qualifying tournament, just 2 games, as we did last year. We were able to get through that, but not through the group stage of the main tournament. You know, how do you expect that to hamper us? We played a long season in terms of the West Indies, and of course regionally, these players are with the West Indies team. They come back to play and added 2 games. You know, does that factor in at all?
Yes, it's going to be tough, but it's international cricket now. The players are very aware of the sort of schedules. They're not the only ones. Understand that the teams that we're going to be playing are the guys coming out of the World Cup in any event. So they're not playing against themselves. Everybody has to understand that they have got to step their game up when the lights go on. Certainly the experience is going to be a good one. Of importance to me would be fitness levels. We've got to make sure that that fitness level is maintained. It's going to be a long, hard season, particularly for the guys who are off to the World Cup. I don't see that as an issue. You've got to play well. It's going to be tougher in South Africa than in India, I can guarantee you. However, I think we are prepared enough. We lack some experience in terms of the Pollards, the Bravos, and Narayans. I'm not even going to put Sunil, probably Pollard and Bravo, because they've had a lot of experience around the world. But certainly it's a competitive team, and it gives opportunities to younger guys to make a name for themselves. This
time around, we're going without Darren Ganga, who's led us tremendously in his years of playing for Trinidad and Tobago. Dinesh Ramdin is in. Of course, he has a lot of captaincy experience at youth level and what have you. How does he now come into this factor?
Certainly, the loss of Darren Ganga's experience, particularly in the absence of some of the really experienced guys, it's going to be a blow, but the selectors saw it in their wisdom not to play him. I think he had a good run leading up to selection over the past couple of weeks. But he's there. He's not probably in the camp, but I suspect he will be off to South Africa in some capacity. And knowing Darren, of course, he'll lend his experience if it's asked. And he's never just not too far of a phone call away in any event once he's there. So we have enough experience. It's important now, Jassy, that the experienced players to the line. This gives an experienced player like Ramdin an opportunity to lead from in front. At some stage, you've got to pass the baton. This is your opportunity. He has more than 50 test matches under his belt. He's been a vice captain for the West Indies. He's an experienced captain, but I have full faith in Dinesh being able to lead this team.
Colin, given all that you've said this morning, it brings us to the question that most people would ask. How do you expect Trinidad and Tobago to perform at this tournament? Are we going to win? Are we going to go all the way? What are your own predictions?
It's going to be hard to tell, particularly if you're missing those key players. Pollard and Bravo and Narayan are super players. They would be needed in any team around the world. They're match winners. But Cooper is here now. Cooper is fit and ready. He can do it. As I said before, the top order, Adrian Brad is experienced, Perkins is experienced, Simmons is experienced, Jason Mohammed has experience. These guys have got to step up. Young Bravo. We have guys who can play the game now. Dependent on how the camp operates and focuses one game at a time. It's T20 cricket. we can go very far. Can we win it? It's going to be tough to win it, but certainly I'm guaranteeing you that we can compete well.
Very well. That's the words there of Colin Board. He'll stay with us just till after this short break. We want to discuss as well the West Indies' chances of performing at the World Cup. Labeled as favourites. Are we? Aren't we? Only time will tell. Of course, stay with us. And